Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co daily stock market review for the trading day ending at Monday, May 23rd. Firstly to the S&P 500 and following the build of momentum from the buyers from the end of last week's trading, we see the formation of a very small black body candle today. This is an inside day in bar chart terms. It does raise doubt about the potential for the trend to continue to the upside. And that's basically because the buyers weren't strong enough to take out the previous high, but the sellers weren't strong enough to take out the previous low. We have some obvious areas of strong resistance coming into play once again. Firstly, the Tenkan-sen, and that's an area where the market has been rejected from multiple occasions over the past week, and today is no different. The Tenkan-sen trades at the moment at 20.54. Also support coming in at the top of the Ichimoku cloud as is expected, and from the previous 3 or 4 days trading, also potentially strong support down at that 20.40 area, the bottom of that highlighted zone. The sellers have taken control away from the buyers, but we are expecting solid support coming in within this region. We do still have a just slightly bullish market in the longer term time frame by just trading above the cloud, but we're so close to being within the cloud that the market is pretty much neutral. In terms of the faster timeframes, however, still maintaining a bearish market in the medium term time frame, and we've been doing that now for the last couple of weeks. And in the fast term time frame, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th consecutive trading day that we've been trading down below the Tenkan-sen, and we've been unable to breach that upper barrier, close above that upper barrier of the Tenkan-sen for the last 5 days or so. This suggests that we may have seen a change of sentiment, but if we are going to see the sellers come into the market even more strongly and continue trading down below the Tenkan-sen, we will need to see them close within the cloud and then also close down below the 2040 level. If the sellers are strong enough to trade down through 2040, we'll be looking to the next previous area of support, 2019, to come into play, and then possibly down around the round number 2000. Any bounce off here, the Kijun-sen could come into play, 2068, and then the top of this highlighted zone around that 2078, 2079 level. And just looking at that complex head and shoulders pattern, complex left shoulder, complex head, complex right shoulder, still failing to close down through there in a bearish manner, and obviously it's because of the strong support around the top of the Ichimoku cloud. Even if we do have a strong close down below that neckline, the target will be very unsure because of the potential support anywhere within the cloud. Moving to the bands, and we are still trading just within the band, suggesting that that strong negative tone that we had in the market previously is not there. Previous bullish close within the bands suggested a possibility of a trade up to the middle of the bands, but that didn't happen. We've seen support coming in at the lower band, trading at 2045, and that will be our benchmark. Actually, it's 2047. That will be our benchmark moving forward for support, and if we can breach down through there in a bearish manner with strong bearish follow through, we could see this trend continuing in a strong manner to the downside. Next to the Nasdaq 100, and continuation of the trend to the upside for today. In this case, the sellers were strong enough to take out the previous high, but we have seen the buyers lose commitment at these higher levels. The market has closed with the sellers in control by closing down towards the low of the range. The range is very much reduced compared to the range of the previous day, suggesting that the sellers they're not as eager as they were for the previous day's trading, and also the switch in the color of the body from white to black suggests that the sellers have found a small amount of net momentum to the downside. If we do see a change of trend here, and there's a good possibility of that happening, looking to strong support at 43.47 with the Tenkan-sen trading around that area, and if that area is breached, we could see the market trading down to this support down around the 43.08 level. If the buyers do bounce off one of these areas, we do have this zone of support and resistance that extends up to about the 4400 level. We are still trading within the cloud in terms of Ichimoku here, so a continuation of this neutral market that we've seen for the past 3 weeks or so, a bear market in the medium term time frame, and just a slightly bullish market in the short term time frame, suggesting that there is a lot of indecision in this market in all 3 time frames. Just looking at the Fibonacci extension technique, we're examining here the relationship between the current first time frame uptrend and the immediate previous first time frame uptrend. And here we see the market for the second consecutive day testing above the 100% level, being strongly rejected from there today, with the buyers losing commitment and the sellers taking control, suggesting a very real possibility of a change of trend to the downside. To the Nasdaq 100 with the bands on the daily charts, and here we see the bands squeezing up, and as expected previously here when we started trading within the bands were quite wide apart and they were squeezing up, and it suggested that we weren't going to see any strong downtrending activity. The market was likely to retrace, as we've seen the market retrace to find equilibrium around that midpoint level, but also either retrace or congest, and that's what we've seen. We've seen a bit of both here. The market is still congesting, but importantly the bands are squeezing up. It suggests that we should be getting ready for a trending move. We don't know when that'll occur, but we're guided by how the market reacts around the bands. At the moment, we've tested very close to the upper band, some price rejection coming in there and support coming in at the middle of the bands. We will be waiting for a breakout, either a bullish breakout to the upside or a bearish breakout to the downside, with strong follow through in the direction of the breakout, but also watching the close by support, and any strong bearish or bullish activity will indicate that we could have a significant trend developing in the medium term time frame.